Hey guys, what's happening? Another quick video. A couple things I've been picking up lately. Finding some decent surplus, honestly. Pawn shops, and today even an antique shop, which normally don't find gun related stuff at antique shops around here, but it is what it is. I'm happy I did. First thing I found, this was a couple of weeks ago. Pawn shop around the corner from my work has had this. Actually, they had it for probably like a year and a half. They priced it way too high to begin with, and I decided that I was going to wait on it a little bit. And obviously, I waited for a freaking year. But I finally picked it up. They had originally priced it at like 500 bucks, which you can see if you guys know what it is. It's an Helwan, Egyptian Helwan. So the Egyptian Helwan, the pretty much exact copy of a Beretta 1951. This is sometimes called the Brigadier. It is the numerical number for it is an M951. Obviously, they just took off the one from the 1951 from the Beretta. But this thing is really cool. Like I said, it pretty much takes every part that the M1951 by Beretta has, but it is made to a much cheaper standard. It functions pretty much the same. Mag drop, decock, or safety, I should say, whole 9 yards. But like I said, this thing was sitting in that pawn shop for a year, and because they had priced it so high, um, it just never moved. Originally, they had priced it for 500 bucks, way too much. Honestly, it did come with the, even though it came with the manual and then this little sheet, which is actually part of the box, the original box for it. $500 was ridiculous. So I waited and waited and waited and finally decided to let them know if they, or ask them if they wanted to move this thing. And they did. So I made an offer of $200 and out the door, and they took it. So even at $200, I feel like it's still kind of like a mid-range price for them. But they knew they weren't going to sell it for 500 bucks. I think they actually had like 250 bucks or 220 bucks in it. So they lost money. But honestly, if it was sitting on their shelf for a year, a little over a year actually, they just wanted that room. Next thing I found, which is actually really cool, I actually already have one of these. This is a Italian Carcano in 6.5 by 52. I'll insert some pictures of the other one that I actually have too. It is the Carcano Cavalry. It is got the flip down bayonet, and it's a lot shorter too, so different sights. This thing has been sporterized, obviously. It's a damn shame that they sporterized this stock because this stock has beautiful flaming in it. Here, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but somebody did a really bad job of sanding down before they actually like re-lacquered it or whatever they finished it with, because they left a bunch of sanding marks in it. But this stock would have been gorgeous. It is an actual surplus stock. You can see the old numbers there, and then what's left, very minimal of what's left of the actual stamp crest that they put in the stock of these things. But man, I'm telling you, this thing would have been gorgeous if it would have been left alone. Also, the stock has been repaired there. These things normally crack here. If you guys know Carcanos, obviously. But that's a professional repair there. But whoever did the sporterizing of the stock afterwards, just they cut it down good, but they left a bunch of sanding marks in this stock, obviously. This thing is 1905 Tierney. And whenever I walked into that pawn shop, they had it and a couple of different rifles in there. And they just had it, I want to say they had it labeled as a Tierney rifle. They did know that it was 6.5 by 52, but they just had it as a, like I said, labeled as a Tierney rifle, and I ended up giving them $100 for it. $100 is really cheap for any surplus that's, actually firing that's actually working, which this one is. But sporterized, I mean, even for a Carcano, I think it's a might be a little bit high, or like right in the middle, honestly. But I had to bring it home with me. I'm thinking maybe I'll redo the stock and later on and kind of clean it up a little bit, just because man, the flame job or the flames in this wood are just gorgeous. I hope you can see it in the vid, but it is awesome. The last thing that I actually found today is a stock for a Winchester Model 75. I think I might have overpaid for this. Not really sure, but at the same time, I'm glad I found it. Model 75s were used during World War II. They had the Model 75 Target, I believe. They were used during World War II to actually train people. This thing, you can actually see there, it's got the Rock Island Armory and the EB stamp, which means that it was actually rebuilt by the Rock Island Armory. But the cool part about it is it's got FJA there. And from what I read online, obviously you can never, 100% be sure of the stuff that you read online. But from what I read online, FJA was the initials of a guy it's like an inspector for the Army, and he was actually like, that was his stamp. So really kind of cool, honestly. I paid $60 for that. Like I said, I may have overpaid because I can find some stocks for the Winchester Model 75 on eBay. But with it having those stamps, guy had 3. This was the only one that actually had the stamps on it. So I figured I'd go ahead and grab it. I forgot to show you all this. It does have a little bit of a crack there on the butt, but not too bad. The other ones that he had were cracked from up here all the way down, and they were pretty substantial. And like I said, this one being that it was the only one that actually had that FJA stamp there, and then the only one that actually had the Rock Island Armory stamp in it, I figured that was the one that was going to be the one that I brought home. So really cool. I will insert some pictures, obviously, of some information for this Carcano. Like I said, it's 1905. And then just, man, really cool. I've had a really good couple of weeks, months, finding stuff recently. I've found some other stuff at some other pawn shops too that I'll be making a video on. But yeah, really, really awesome. If you watch this far, I appreciate you. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching.